Lonzo Ball parted ways from his agent, and we're discussing if it has anything to do with the Big Baller brand drama in just a moment. The Lakers star is on the hunt for new representation now, but we've heard LaVar is controlling the agent search. Well, that doesn't seem like a good idea in my opinion. Let's get into the drama right now. Hi everyone, I'm Devin Howard. It seems like we have fresh Lonzo news every day lately. This most recent update is pretty wild. Let's get right into it, but first make sure you're subscribed to the Fumble and tap the bell for notifications. Okay, first let's talk about how Lonzo fired his agent. The athlete seems to be in major rebrand mode. This decision to let go of Harrison Gaines comes on the heels of the player disassociating himself from the Big Baller brand, including covering up his tattoo and suing Alan Foster for $2 million. So why is he changing agents? Naturally, I assumed it's because Gaines had something to do with the embezzlement scheme at the company. But apparently that's not the case at all. The two haven't had any fallout, but just decided to mutually part ways. Lonzo said, "Harrison Gaines has been a trusted advisor and close friend for many years. He guided my NBA career with integrity and always had my best interest at heart." He also said that Gaines was fully supportive of his decision to sue Foster, and back on March 25th, Gaines released a statement saying he was, quote, "glad Foster's actions have been discovered." He went on saying, "Lonzo has now empowered me to take a more active role in his career. I look forward to continuing as his agent and providing guidance that will support his growth as a person and player." But now he and Lonzo have decided together to not work with each other anymore? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Right now, Lonzo needs to be around honest, loyal people. Bringing a new, unfamiliar person into the mix sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. To further drive home the point that Harrison actually seemed like a decent guy, Lonzo said, "Harrison has always had my back, and although we will no longer be working together after mutually deciding to part ways, our relationship will always be bigger than basketball." Also, now the hunt for a new agent begins. Whoever he signs with will be responsible for directing his NBA career and securing a lucrative shoe endorsement deal, and a whole lot more if LaVar has anything to do with it, which he does. I heard today that LaVar is pretty much controlling the search for his son's new agent. According to sources, LaVar is active in discussions with potential agents, and that even though Lonzo is a star player, a lot of the prospective people interested in representing him are stepping down once they hear LaVar is running the show. Can you blame him? If we've all learned one thing about LaVar in the last couple weeks, it's that he's probably the last person who should be making business decisions for his kids. I mean, he is the guy who hired a convicted felon to run Big Baller brand with him, legitimately screwing over his son. He doesn't have the keenest eye when it comes to involving other people in his business affairs, so why Lonzo would even let him call the shots as he looks for a new agent is beyond me. Lonzo's a big kid now. He can make decisions for himself, and considering he's totally stepped away from any and all Triple B stuff, you'd think he'd be able to do the same thing with his dad. But as of right now, Lonzo is liking Creative Artists Agency. No word yet on if he'll sign with them though. And even though the focus right now should be on finding Lonzo the right agent, LaVar is steering conversations towards the rest of his sons. Apparently, he's been asking prospective agents if they could get his other sons, LiAngelo and LaMelo, on the same NBA team as Lonzo. We've known for a long time that LaVar has dreamt of getting his sons to play together on the same team, so instead of finding an agent who's the right fit for Lonzo, he's wanting to hire someone who can directly benefit his own aspirations. It's also kind of crazy because there are a lot of people who don't think LiAngelo is necessarily NBA material, but LaVar is so dead set on making sure all three of his sons go pro in the US, he's willing to hire an agent not because he'll be a trusted person for Lonzo, but because they might be able to finagle LiAngelo and LaMelo's way onto a professional team. As Lonzo has been making his way out of this whole Big Baller brand mess, I was sort of hopeful that he'd start on his own journey and start making these decisions for himself. The guy's a rock star on the court and has the potential to earn huge money from endorsements. He doesn't need his distracting dad to dictate his life path. And the way Lonzo erased any evidence of BBB from his IG profile and covered up his Big Baller brand tattoo, it just seemed like he was getting ready to start on his own path. I know I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the Ball craziness. What do you think is gonna happen? Are you surprised LaVar is still a part of the conversation? Chat about it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here on The Fumble.